Good morning, students. Welcome to online class. Now we are going to see life in villages and towns. Second part of the chapter 9. Okay. So in first part we discussed about the village improvement and the improvement of tools and how they move to the town for the trading purpose. Everything we listened. Now we are moving to second urbanization. So what are the learning objectives we are going to discuss in this part? The first one, the second urbanization and evidence from the past, archaeological sources, literature and about Arikamedu. So what is the second urbanization? As agricultural production increased and as trade grew and crafts multiplied, towns and cities started developing in the Indian subcontinent once more. So the farmers increased their production and what they need, they kept themselves. And the surplus, that is the excess, they want to trade, that is to sell. For that purpose, they are moving to towns. That's why the towns and cities started developing in the Indian subcontinent again. The main cities came to be established in the fertile Ganga plains. As we are seeing in the map here, you see fertile Ganga plains and the Malwa Plateau region. So actually the main cities established by the trader, that is the surplus, the farmers and the craft people improved themselves and the trading also grew. Some of the more important urban centers that came up were Rajgiraha, Pataliputra, Vaishali, Kaushambi, Shavasti, Nalanda and Takshila. So all these urban centers just came up in that period. The new towns and cities that emerged during this time became important for different reasons. Capitals of kingdoms became important urban centers as they were centers of political and administrative activities. So for not only for the trading purpose, so capitals of kingdoms, and because of the silk producing and the trading purpose, so like this, for different reason they became important. In that few examples we see means Pataliputra, Ujjaini and Shravasti. That is familiar for capitals of kingdoms and also the centers of political and administrative activities. And other townships became markets, that is they are seeing their trading purpose, they are growing, that is improving themselves in all the crafts, artworks, shawls, silk sarees, silk cloth and everything. Farmers and artisans brought their surplus for sale to these places, which were usually located on trade routes. The cities of Ujjain and Takshila are examples of these markets. Religion too played a role in the growth of urban areas. So as we see here, the religion wise, maybe a lot of temples or there, mass, church, whatever may be. Pilgrims used to gather in temple towns in large numbers during festivals. So what is meant by pilgrims? Those who are worshipping God, devotees we can say. So they are getting together during the festival times in the temple towns. So as as we see the temple towns as they are getting together for the festival times, means some of the examples here: Ayodhya, Bodh Gaya, Banaras, that is Varanasi, Mathura, Amravati, and Vaishali. And some towns became famous because the craftspeople specialized in making particular articles. For example, Banaras was famous for its silk, that is the silk sari. Banarasi silk they tell. Because of that, that city familiar. And also the ports like Barukacha, that is Bharuch in present day Gujarat, and Tamralati in present day West Bengal became important towns as trade to far off countries was carried out from these places. So the countries in the long distance they are carrying goods through the port. So that's why this Barukach and Tamralati familiar in that period. And also Mauryan trade with countries lying to the south and southeast took place mainly through Tamralipti. Usually people those who are living in rural areas, they will be moved to urban areas. That is the learning centers where they will get education, they will move towards that place. So some cities here, as we see examples, Nalanda, Takshila also became renowned as centers of learning. Rulers built massive forts around the important towns and cities to mark the extent of their territories for protection and to display their wealth and power. So, from the port itself, we come to know about that king, how wealthy they are, how powerful they are. Often, there were separate quarters in the city for different occupational groups. In the cities, like in the villages, craftspeople organized themselves into shades. So, they are living in a group, now occupation wise. Some of these shredis became very powerful over time as they control trade. So already we discussed about this. They are providing loan in need of money and also they are deciding the price for selling the things and also the place they are deciding where to sell. So everything controlled by shredis. So as we discussed, towns we can divided into three types. That is capital towns we see means Pataliputra, Ujjain, Shravasti, and port towns it will be Arikamedu, Bharuch, Kaviripattinam we can say, and pilgrimage towns that the people those are gathering together during the festival times means Kausambi, Vaishali we can say. Here the archaeological sources we will see. That is the sources include Ashoka's edicts, coins, pottery, tools and implements. As we see in Ashoka's edicts, that is on inscription, he just said many things about how to rule the kingdom and want to leave the war. Everything he mentioned in his inscription. And coins, as we are seeing in this picture, we can say punch marked coins. So for the purpose of selling things, and that period they used these coins, and also for sending goods from one place to another place. So for sealing purpose also they used these punch mark coins. And remains of craft items created during this period tell us about life in our ancient cities. The pottery, as we are seeing here, of this time is referred to as northern black polished pottery. This is because the clay pots had a highly polished black surface. Blackware pottery, that is from the 5th to 7th century CE, found in Mahalmari, as we are seeing in this picture. So this is the blackware and this is the redware pottery. Not only the archaeological tools, coins, punchmark coins and the pottery, instead of that, sculptural details also, like these found on the gates of Sanchi Stupa, show us glimpses of life in the cities of ancient India. So as we are seeing in this picture, the sculpture, how cute they are. See that from the second story of the building they are standing and seeing there. So the 2 stories houses are built in that period itself. People looking down from the balconies of double-storied houses. So we came to know that in that ancient period itself, they are used to live in the double-storied houses. Ring wells have been unearthed from the sites of many cities of ancient India, such as that Purana Kila and Delhi. So as we are seeing in this picture, this is the ring wells. These wells are built as a series of ceramic rings placed one on top of another, used either for drawing water or for drainage. So what is the purpose of the ceramic rings, as we are seeing here, means it just filter the water. For that purpose, they are using the ceramic rings for the ring wells. This archaeological discoveries tells us about the technological level of the times in that ancient period, how they built. Literature. The literary sources for this period include the Jataka tales, that is, common people used to tell the stories, and the Buddhists, they used to write in a book, that we can say Jataka tales. We used to get many information, lot of morals from these tales. And Chanakya's Arthashastra and the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, that is, or the navigation of the Red Sea, written by an unknown Greek sailor, and the Sangam literature from South India. All these we can say as literature, that is, literary sources. The Tamil text of the Sangam age, Patinapalai, has vividly described the ancient Chola capital of Kaveri Pattinam, as we are seeing in this picture, that is Poombuhar. It's pleasant to see. Actually, the town was built on the north banks of the river Kaveri. The town had 2 parts, this Marur Pakam near the sea and Patinapakam to its west. The two were separated by a stretch of gardens and orchards where daily markets were held under the shades of the trees. So everything we can see in this picture. Let me gather some information about Arikamedu. So just located south of Puducherry was an important center of trade that flourished between the 1st century BCE and 2nd century CE. The remains found here show that both the ancient Romans and Chinese came here to trade. Some Some scholars have identified Arikamedu with the port of Podo mentioned in the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea. Among the artifacts found here are Roman beads and gems, amphorae and Aratine ware. Let me see what is that. Here it is, the picture, an amphorae that is double handled. They used to store oil in this. And Aratine ware, they used to store, that is drink wine in this ware. Archaeologists have also excavated a large brick building, as we are seeing in this picture, thought to be a warehouse over 45 meters in the length. Lime plaster had been used to make its walls watertight. Small tanks that may have been used to dye cloth have also been found. So with the use of that small tanks, they used to dye the cloth. That is for the coloring purpose. Arikamedu is an important relic of India's ancient past, a time when it enjoyed a flourishing trade with the Mediterranean lands of Europe. Traders are believed to have traveled from far and wide to trade here for gems, pearls, spices, and silks. And they used to get more things. Because of that purpose only, they believed to travel from far and wide place. Thank you, children. We will see in the next class.